I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. This is a video that I want to do in response to two videos I just watched. One from Zeddy, the new mode coming to Hearthstone, and one from Rarran about a challenge a change needed. I'm going to try to link their posts in so you can actually watch the original videos if you haven't seen them. I'm sort of new to this, so if I don't know how to link their posts, I do apologize to both of them. I'm not trying to not give you credit, so I did put your links, I did put your pictures of both of these in my screenshot. But basically what these are talking about is brand new modes that we want to see come to Hearthstone. Because even though I do play Battlegrounds, I actually do play Hearthstone too. And I wanted to throw my ideas into the ring of what modes I would like to see. And the first mode that I want to see is a mode that I'm going to call the Caverns of Time. And for those of you who don't play World of Warcraft or don't know about World of Warcraft, the Caverns of Time is a special place in World of Warcraft where time sort of does this whole slipshot maneuver where past events can happen, present events can happen, and future events can happen. And basically what we would do is we would start back at Classic, but we would add new cards that were wild-only cards just for Demon Hunter. Just so that, like, what would Demon Hunter have looked like in Classic? So that way Demon Hunter can play in Classic too, and you don't lose that 10th class. And as you go through, we do it we start on the 1st of the month, and we go the 1st through the 10th, and then we do the 11th through the 20th, and then we do the 21st through the 30th on a 30-day. And on the 31 day, we do to the 31st, and on April, we only do the 28th day. So that way everybody knows when the events are going to happen. They're only going to be for 10 days max the most, or 11 on a 31 day. But that way you actually get a feel for what the meta looks like with it constantly changing. And if you don't have some of these sets, you don't feel down and out. Missing out on some of these. Maybe in the beginning they could do something special where they gave you some cards to just try it out. But the core set would be offered to you at that point, and you could actually try it out and see what the meta looked like. Completely unbuffed, completely unnerfed cards. And as you go along, we keep going set by set until we catch up to where Demon Hunter comes in. Once we catch up to when Demon Hunter's really in the game, we start doing some wacky sets, like you can do GVG along with Boomsday Project along with Sunken City, which would be a very mech-centric deck. But then you could also do other weird sets, like you could do Grand Tournament, Mean Streets of Gadgets, and Whispers Dark Moon Fair. So, which those three would never have existed at the same time. And you can make it so that it's completely random each time, to the point where even the devs don't know what the next 3 sets are going to be. And it would always be 3 sets plus one of the core sets. You can either do the core set that's in the game right now and always just keep that as the core set, or you could actually rotate the core set. So sometimes it would be the classic core set, sometimes it would be last year's core set, sometimes it would be this year's core set. And you could even do fun little events where, like, you want to have a card and you're not sure how well it's going to work in the game. You could add it and just have a mode where all of a sudden there's this weird card that comes in the game where you want to test the mechanic, but you're not sure how well it's going to work in the game or how much the community is going to like it. You could actually test out cards and have those be as future cards that might come out. Also, you could use this mode to make it so that, like, if Priest is having a hard time getting up ladder because it's missing early game removal, you could give it one of the cards that was back in the day that it had for early removal. Or if Shaman's missing draw, because that's what's holding it back right now, you could give it a draw card. And those would just be cards that you lent out. It would be temporary, that would be known, that could be leaving the game at any time. That would help buff out lower classes, to help shake up the game, keep up the game open. And you've got this library of wild cards that you could just throw 1 card and 2 cards in. It doesn't need to be balanced. If Shaman's doing great, don't give Shaman another card. It's perfectly fine if Shaman doesn't get another card if they're doing great. It's perfectly fine if Warlock's doing fine, to not give them another card. But you could use this to see where you're falling behind. What class is doing the worst in the game right now, and why are they doing bad? Add 1 card, add 2 cards just to help them out, and then next time, and then go a couple of weeks or whatever, and then do it again. 1 card, 2 card to balance out what they're missing. So that would be the Caverns of Time. You would have cards that would show up as its own individual set for Caverns of Time that you could add to a normal game of Hearthstone. And then you could actually have Caverns of Time cards added to the past sets for Demon Hunter until we catch up for Demon Hunter. That would be a wild-only cards. So that way, when you do the Caverns of Time and you have wacky adventures, Demon Hunter's not just out of it for a whole bunch of time because Demon Hunter didn't exist for the longest time. That's the first mode that I have in mind. The Caverns of Time mode. The other mode that I have in mind is we give everybody back Whizbang. And we just have a mode where you just play Whizbang. Everybody has Whizbang. Everybody has the Whizbang decks. And that's all it is. It's just a mode where it's Whizbang. And you can either do it so that Whizbang is always the sets that are currently out now, so you can kind of get a feel of what the sets look like. And sit there and go, oh man, this card's really fun to play in the set. I want to actually get this card down the road, and they'll actually craft the card. Or you can make it so that, it goes through all sets that existed. But just a mode where everybody plays Whizbang. You could have a ladder, or it could just be fun, where you just play Whizbang, and that way everybody's on the same path. You can't meta deck it. You just have Whizbang. You can make it to the point where maybe you roll until you get the good deck and then you fight that, but that's a weird way to go when 1 out of 10 decks, you hate, and maybe 1 out of 10 decks you like. So that's the other mode that I've been thinking about doing, is like an actual Whizbang mode, where everybody plays Whizbang and just plays starter decks. The last mode that I've been thinking about doing, and thinking about they could add to the game, is an actual band mode, where we look at the best decks in the game. We look at what's doing the best, and we start banning cards from it. Whatever the top 10 cards are that are currently being played in the entire meta get banned from the ban set. So that way we can try other metas. We can try other things. We can try to do stuff in a band format, where you sit there and go, okay, this week these 10 cards are just doing ridiculously well. Let's ban those 10 cards and see what the meta looks like at that point. And it might need to be 20 cards or 30 cards. I'm not saying 10 has to be the mark that you hit by, but that way you can actually go through and see, what would the game look like if this card got banned, if that card got banned. They've ran ban tournaments and stuff before. They're not adding anything to the game that's not already there. You don't have to add one more thing. You just have to add a ban list that you change every once in a while. Because, believe it or not, at this particular point, you gotta add something new to the game every 10 days, I would say. At this particular point, to keep the game fresh, to keep the game relevant, to keep the game meta, to keep people interested in the game, you gotta add something new to the game every 10 days. That's why everything that I keep saying is 10 days. That's why the Caverns of Time would change on every 10 days at the most, rather than on a 31 day. Because the meta gets solved too quickly. The meta, everybody, once you release a card, once you release the next set, whatever the next set is, you're going to, within 10 days, the meta's going to be solved. No matter what cards you put in there, no matter what new things you put in there, 10 days or less, the meta's going to be solved. There's going to be guides on how to make the most meta deck out there. And if you want to play that way, more power to you. There's people who are always going to play the meta decks out there. But there are other people who don't like the meta. They don't want to play the same deck 15, 20, 30 times in a row. They don't want to face the same opponent 15, 30 times in a row. And that way, you can have other modes that you can try out. You can do other things. And that way you can have other stuff that looks fun. Having a mode where every 10 days, the 3 sets are completely random. And you can make it so random that not even the devs know what it's going to be. So that way nobody can meta deck it. You can just set up a system where every week it just goes, here's deck 1, here's, set 1, set 2, set 3, and here's the core set for the game. Roll them randomly each time. That way you have some really wacky ones that make no sense. And even if it's the worst 3 sets ever, the worst 3 sets, and everybody sits there and goes, oh man, I just hate this. In this particular 3-set combo, Druid wins every single time. It's for 10 days. In 10 days it's done. They sit there and go, yeah, it's bad, but in 10 days it'll be over. That's it. Those are the modes that I'm thinking about. Where I'm thinking about the Caverns of Time mode, where you could just have wacky sets thrown together, and you can actually see what Pirate Warrior looked like back in the day. Because right now you couldn't play Pirate Warrior if you wanted to. That way you could actually have Pirate Warrior come out every once in a while, or you could have Galakron show its head up again for 10 days. For 10 days, Galakron would be fun, but after 10 days, you'd be tired of it. But you could also have ones that would never exist. You could throw together 3 different sets that never would have been together. Black Rock Mountain, Grand Tournament, and Descent of Dragons. Those 3 would have never been together. I don't even know if they would work well together. That's not the point. The point is, let's have fun. Let's do some crazy stuff. So that's Caverns of Time. The other one would be Whizbang. Here's a set where nobody can meta it. You can't meta Whizbang. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets Whizbang straight off the bat. So worst case scenario, a brand new player has a deck that they can play straight off the bat. That would be a starter deck. Maybe climb the ranks. Maybe have some fun with it. And then you can go into the Whizbang mode, and no matter what, you have a shot of moving up, moving down in Whizbang. You can go and fight in the Whizbang mode, and you know that nobody else had better cards than you, had worse cards than you. They might have gotten a little more lucky, but that's just the nature of the game, and everybody's on the same level. And the last mode would be the ban mode. You gotta start banning cards. You gotta start banning cards in ranked, not just in wild. You gotta start banning cards in ranked. And if you want to throw that into a different mode, that's fine. I know some people don't want it to be in the main mode, and I get that you spent a lot of money, you spent a lot of dust. But that way you could have the ban mode, and if people like the ban mode, they'll go to it. And if people don't like the ban mode, they'll stay out of it. But that way people could actually sit there and go, you know what? I am tired of seeing these 5 decks. These 5 decks have these cards. I know they'll be banned in the ban mode. I can play something else. That's it. That's 3 new modes that you can add to the game for standard that would help out the game. So I'm going to try to put this up, and I'm going to try to link Rarran and Zeddy to see if they can watch this video. I highly doubt it. But I do want to thank you all for taking some time and watching this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.